Okay, so as I was saying, the fly tower, you don't have that on in the theatre in the round. Okay, so I've mentioned this already. There is no typical backstage now in the theatre in the round, purely because it just wasn't possible. So they would make alternative plans. What this means is that the set often wouldn't change throughout the play. It's very simple to understand why, because quite frankly, they wouldn't be able to get the set on and off. You wouldn't have a backstage crew. So whatever set they had on in the beginning would normally stay. It also had to be a very specific kind of set, because if we go back and look at this, now that's a very small stage. Obviously, some theatre in the rounds are bigger than this. But what set can you really put on here that's not going to block the view of all of the audience members? So in general, they had very little to no set at all. Okay. Then the stage is usually on an even level with the audience, meaning that the stage would be at eye level. The audience could see them, just because it would provide the audience with a better viewpoint. And were they to actually put on a piece of scenery, if it was at eye level with the audience, they could get away with it easier than if it was below them, which I know sounds a bit weird, but it works. Okay. This allows for the breaking of the fourth wall, all right? We all know what breaking of the fourth wall now means. There was an intimate actor-audience relationship, participation with the audience if actors needed to for whatever reason. And yeah, it was it's a very different kind of stage for acting on. It's difficult to act on a theatre in the round because you're constantly having to have your back to someone. There is no way around it. Someone in the audience is not going to see the front of you. They're only going to see the back of you. But despite this, it still allows for a very intimate setting between the actor and the audience. It was a popular stage during the Greek and Roman eras, mainly because they didn't necessarily have actual stages at that point in time. They hadn't got the technology yet to build anything that was big and grand that we see today. So they could easily just put a whole bunch of people in a circle on a piece of grass and be like, cool, we're doing a performance. So that's why it was popular then, because they hadn't fully developed their own theatres yet that were built. Okay. Again, this is just a diagram of what the theatre in the round looks like. You've got the stage, you've got the audience on all four sides. Actors could enter from the vomitories, the sides. Okay. And then also in some cases, they might have a trap door around in the middle and people could walk up through there. We're moving on to the amphitheater now, which is our last stage, guys. Isn't that exciting? So you guys should know or have seen amphitheaters before. Please note it is pronounced amphi and not amphitheater. It's an amphitheater. All right. This is a traditional Greek one. As you can see, it's very old. And you've got all of the seating area here. It's in a semicircle, pretty semicircle around the stage itself. A lot of the terminology for the stage itself and what all of these things are is not something you need to know right now. However, if you do decide to take drama in grade 10, you will learn about all of the specifics of the amphitheater. So the basic stuff you need to know, okay, is the amphitheater's name derives from amphi, okay, the Greek word amphi, which means around or both sides, and theatron, which means place of viewing or seeing place. So let's go back here. Amphi, around. There we go. The seating is around. Okay, place of viewing, again, that is the seating. So where people sat. So you've got the amphi because it's around, and place of viewing, the theatron, where people sat. Amphitheater. Okay, ancient Greek and Roman amphitheaters were built in a semicircular shape. Right, they were tiered seating. Okay, so that at that angle you can see that from the picture, and then there was one performance area in the center. So again, here is the seating going up, and this area here would be the performance area. Many different events occurred here. Some of you may know about the Colosseum in Rome. That is not an amphitheater. It's more a theater in the